Hey guys, welcome back to Hail Joey Noter, back with another video. Sorry if the camera quality's bad. My camera's dead and I don't have a battery spare, so we're just gonna be filming on my phone today. And today we are doing all-time top 10 best player list. We're comparing our lists. So I've already made like a PowerPoint of mine thing. It's not PowerPoint, but it's like a slideshow thing. But I've some changes to it. I don't like it, so I'm gonna change some things to it. And we're also doing current top 10 players in the league.
Yeah, I'm doing this off the dome. Like I haven't made my list yet. I don't know my list, so I'm just gonna think. And if I change my mind, I'll say it at the end of the video or something.
Okay, so number 10. Let's go with all time first. Number 10.
I think we should go from number 1 because it'd be easier.
Okay, so number 1. Personally, I think LeBron James is the best player of all time.
See, it's close. There's a big debate on this, obviously, like Jordan or LeBron, blah blah blah. But I think LeBron is the best player of all time because
then it's obviously Michael Jordan.
Yeah, second's Michael Jordan. But like the reason why I think LeBron is the best of all time is that if you think it from a perspective of like team player and how he plays basketball, you could tell that he almost has as much assists as Magic. He's about to pass that. He's gonna pass that. He has more playoff points than Jordan. And you might think, oh, Jordan, he went 6 for 6 in the championship. I'm not saying that doesn't take any skill or anything, or like that's not something that that's literally amazing. Like 6 for 6, not even going to a game 7 at all. That's crazy. I feel like that's just the team chemistry for Michael Jordan, because like he was on the same team his whole career besides the Wizards at the end of his career, but that doesn't really matter.
If we're going scoring, I'm taking Michael Jordan, but
facts.
all-around player, LeBron is a better rebounder, he's a better passer, and he's just an all-around better, I think he's just a better all-around team player.
And there's different aspects. Like you could say that Michael Jordan, he's more clutch. That's obvious. But if we're talking about just like basketball in general and how skills go, I think that LeBron is the best player of all time. 2 is obviously Jordan, though.
Michael Jordan. So, like he said, 6 championships in a row. He's just
and if he wouldn't have did baseball for 2 years, he would have 8. That'd be facts. If he didn't go to baseball for 2 years, he would have 8 championships.
He was just an amazing scorer. I wish I could have watched him play live. I've never been able to.
Yeah.
But he was just a scorer, man. And then he also was a great defender. That's the most underrated side of Jordan.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's another thing that Jordan's better than LeBron at. It's probably defense. Defense. He was one of the best defenders of all time. Yeah. So number 2, obviously Jordan.
So number 3, I think, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Same. I think Kareem. Obviously leading scorer of all time, best most points scored. And did you know that like 20,000 of his points were from the skyhook specifically?
Yeah. So
yeah, it was the most unguardable thing to do. Like you can't guard it.
He's one of the most. It's hard to say with Kareem because it was long ago, but still, if we're going by numbers, you could say he's the most dominant big man of all time, but you could say it's between him and Shaq.
In my opinion, best of all time is Kareem, but most dominant, I think Shaq. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I feel like Shaq was more like but we'll get into Shaq later. I don't want to talk about him too much.
So
right
we got Kareem, and I think he is the 3rd best player of all time.
Yeah, of course.
4th. Who do you have? I know mine.
I don't know. You say first.
Magic Johnson. I think Magic Johnson's the 4th best player of all time. He has it all. To me, he's very comparable to LeBron in the aspect of the passing. He gets everyone involved. He's like a 6'10" point guard.
I think I'm gonna agree with you right now because like I haven't even like disagreed with you yet. I don't think any of the stuff that he's saying or I'm saying is wrong so far. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say Magic Johnson. Leader in assists, of course. In my opinion, I think he's about to be passed by LeBron. He could do almost everything besides shoot. He's not the best shooter.
Yeah. That's why I compare him to LeBron. I mean, he has everything except the jump shot, which LeBron has been known not to have.
Also, really good, amazing passer.
Yeah.
Amazing dribbler. I was watching a highlight reel of him. What I've noticed from him is that he always goes to the paint, and he doesn't shoot much mid range either. He mainly just goes to the rim, and that was his sweet spot pretty much. So, yeah.
Fifth, I think is Larry Bird.
Okay.
From the Celtics. He's just an all around great shooter. He had that mid range gang. He also he was an underrated rebounder. And he was a grit player, you know. He would get into people's faces, he'd talk the trash, but he could back it up, especially. He won a couple rings, and him and Magic Johnson, of course, were rivals. But Larry Bird was just, I think, one of the best scorers of all time and one of the best players of all time. So for me, he's number 5th. Who do you have at number 5?
I gotta think for it. I gotta think a little bit. See, there's a lot of players that you could obviously put here. I think. Larry Bird's a good one. You know what? I'm gonna put. This might sound weird. I'm gonna put Kobe Bryant at number 5. A lot of people are probably gonna disagree with me. He has the most misses of all time. Okay, but he's basically a copy of Jordan. It's Jordan and him. Jordan had better defense, but Kobe was a little bit better shooter. Obviously, he ball hogs, not the best passer, but in my opinion, he's one of the best scorers of all time. He could shoot the mid range, he could drive, he could do pretty much everything.
Yeah.
How tall was he? 6'7", 6'6"?
6'7", I think.
Yeah. Probably, in my opinion, the second best shooting guard of all time.
Yeah.
One of the best Lakers of all time. Yeah. So that's my number 5.
Number 6, I'm going to say Bill Russell. 11 championships.
2 Lakers in a row.
And I think Bill Russell, to me, is another great center. He was a little undersized, but back in the day, he was not undersized.
Yeah.
He pretty much dominated Wilt. I mean, when Wilt was there, he won championships. Once Bill Russell came in there in his prime, Wilt didn't win another one. I mean, Bill Russell is just, I'd never get to see him, and yes, it's still fuzzy because he was, there's not a lot of footage of him, but still, if we're going by stats and you look at the numbers, Bill Russell, you cannot argue, is not a top 10 player of all time.
Yeah. Number 6, now I'm going to put Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Obviously, amazing shooter. One of the best shooters of all time. And people like to, they don't really talk about how good, of an overall player Larry Bird was. People he was an amazing shooter, okay. But, people, underrate the fact that he was a good passer. Good rebounder. He played pretty good defense. Mm-hmm. Not the best defender, but pretty good defense. And he could pretty much do everything as well. People don't really talk about that much, so I just had to put that out. But, yeah, he's my number 6 spot.
Number 7 for me is Wilt Chamberlain. Just as I said, Bill Russell stopped him, but when Wilt Chamberlain was in his prime on the Philadelphia Warriors and also went to the Lakers, he was just another dominant center. And it's hard to compare centers to guards like Michael Jordan, LeBron, Magic Johnson, because they're just very different games.
Yeah.
But still, I think what hurts him is just a Bill Russell thing. I think if Bill Russell, minus Bill Russell, he would have had maybe the same amount of championships Bill Russell has today. It's just Bill Russell to me is better, but Wilt Chamberlain is still a really dominant center, so I have to put him at my number 7 spot.
See, this is completely different. All right, so number 7, I'm putting Shaq there. Shaq. In my opinion, he is the second best center of all time, under Kareem. I'm surprised you put 3 centers above him.
Yeah, I think 3 centers are better than Shaq.
I put Shaq on my number. I put Shaq on my number 2 best center of all time. Most dominant player of all time, probably. You think so?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, amazing rim protector. One of the best post scorers of all time. Couldn't shoot to save his life, but that's about it. That he was bad at. And yeah, I just put him I don't know. I love Shaq too, so I had to put him there. Number 7.
Number 8 for me. Number 8 is Kobe Bryant.
Great.
Now Kobe Bryant, he had him higher. He had him number 5. The only thing I take away from Kobe is just
ball hog.
I feel like, yeah, he's the ball hog, but also, I don't know. I feel like he's just a not, like, I don't really know how to describe it, but I just don't think the gap between him and Michael Jordan, LeBron, and other guards, I think is so far off. And I just don't think he's better than most of the centers on this list either.
Yeah.
Of course, he's a great scorer, but I have to put him at number 8 for me. He's still a great player. Don't get it wrong.
Number 8. All right, I'm just gonna put for safe. I'm gonna put Bill Russell.
Bill
here.
Russell.
Most rings for one player of all time. Obviously, it was easier back then, but still, amazing player. What can I say? It's hard to win that many championships, especially against like a great competitor, as in Wilt Chamberlain, who scored 100 points in a game once. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about like I can't really. I mean, obviously not part of my time area at all, but I've obviously we've all seen clips of him. We all know he's great. We all have heard that how good he is, and yeah, I'm just gonna put him at my number 8 spot. I like Bill Russell.
Number 9, I'm going to put Hakeem Olajuwon here.
Dang, you put 4 centers above Shaq?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Shaq's not even on my list.
Ooh. Okay.
I think Hakeem's number 9. He was one of the only players to take away a championship from that. He was a great competitor for that Bulls team. I mean, he would have many more rings if that team wasn't around. He played arguably the best team of all time. I mean, it's between them and the Warriors, which I also give credit to LeBron about. But Hakeem Olajuwon, I think would have a lot more rings and a lot more credit if he did not play against that team. But to me, I just think he's just another dominant center with the rebounds to back it up, the points to back it up, and
Dream Shake. I mean, one of the best moves of all time.
It's hard to deny that he was a really good player.
Yeah.
Who's your number 9?
All right. I'm gonna put Tim Duncan at number 9, best power forward of all time. Obviously, number 9. You know, like power forward's probably the weakest position of all time.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if like Tim Duncan, amazing player, amazing mid-range shooter. People call him like Mr. Fundamental. Like he didn't care about all that fancy stuff. He just got the job done and did all he needed to do to win 6 championships, 5 championships.
5, I believe, yeah.
With Popovich, of course, Tony Parker, Ginobili. Yeah, so I put him up there. Oh yeah, also with David Robinson, of course, who's probably up top 15, maybe top 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I put Tim Duncan as my number 9 spot.
For number 10, I want to put a player here. It's between 2 players for me. I'm gonna put Tim Duncan here though. My other player was, I know people are gonna disagree with me. I know everyone hates him, Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could argue a top 10 player for him, but I'm gonna put Tim Duncan here. He was fun, like he said, Mr. Fundamental. I mean, he got the rebounds. He worked his heart out there. He was just a gritty player. Never showboated. I mean, he got out there and did the job. Just using that Spurs system.
Reminds me of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, just came out there, did his job, didn't say anything to the media. That was just his game. That's the Spurs mentality. You get the job done. It's not about the movie star life. It's not about the Hollywood life. It's about getting a job and playing basketball, and that's what Tim Duncan really showed to everyone around the world. I mean, him and the Spurs beat LeBron James in his prime.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest accomplishments of his career of all time, you could say. So I would put him at number 10.
So for my number 10 spot, I'm going to put Wilt Chamberlain. Obviously, all right, so I just put 5 big men in a row. I did, no, 4, right? I put
10.
So yeah, so for number 6, what did I put? I put Shaq. I don't even remember. You'll hear it. But 10, I put Wilt Chamberlain, obviously. One of the best scorers of all time. One of the best defenders of all time. People think of him as one of the best rebounders of all time. 100 points in a game. I'm going to put him at number 10, obviously one of the best players of all time. So there's no doubt about that. So I'm just going to put him at number 10.